Parents, therapy for autistic kids can cost up to $130,000 a year. That's between occupational, speech, physical, and ABA therapy. And even with insurance, it can be a nightmare. Trying to figure out deductible, coinsurance, max out of pocket, it's just chaos. But if we want your child to receive therapy services, we have to come up with a plan. That way you can avoid any surprise bills. And that's why in the next few minutes, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about insurance and therapy cost. That way we can come up with a plan. I'm Sergio Rodriguez. I'm an occupational therapist, and I run a private practice in San Antonio, Texas, together with my wife, a speech therapist. And we both work with autistic kids every single day. So we have this conversation about insurance and cost of therapy with all the families that we work with. So I'm going to break down this video into 3 separate sections. The first section, we're going to talk about the top 3 things that you need to know about your commercial insurance plan. And I promise you it's going to be super easy. The second section of the video, we're going to talk about the real cost of therapy. I'm talking about how much does it cost for speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and ABA therapy. And at the end, we're going to talk about 3 real life scenarios of what families end up paying for therapy services, even with their insurance plan. Let's begin to talk about your insurance plan. And to make things easier, we're going to think about your insurance plan as a video game that has 3 levels. The goal is to get to the last level where insurance gets to pay for everything. But to get there, we need to understand the first 2 levels. Level 1 is called deductible. At this level, you're going to pay for everything from your wallet. We're talking about doctor's visit, therapy sessions, surgeries, everything. And insurance will not cover anything until you reach this limit called the deductible. Let's say you check your benefits today and you see that you have a $4,000 deductible. Let's say your child has speech therapy today and speech therapy sessions cost $50. After the session, you're going to pay that speech therapist $50. You're going to keep doing that until you reach that $4,000. And just FYI, your premiums, what you pay every month to have your insurance plan, does not count for your deductible. Again, any doctor's visit, therapy sessions, surgery, more than likely are going to apply for your deductible. Level 2 is called coinsurance or copayments. This means that you have reached your deductible of $4,000. Now, at this level, insurance gets to pay most of the cost of the therapy services, but you still have a small portion that you need to pay. And this comes in 2 different ways. It can be a copayment, which is a fixed cost. So you might have a copayment of $30. That means every time you go to speech therapy, you pay the speech therapist $30 and insurance pays the rest. Or you have a coinsurance, which is 20%. So let's say your child has occupational therapy. Occupational therapy is $100 an hour. So you pay $20 and insurance pays $80. Now we have reached level 3, the max out-of-pocket limit. And after you reach this limit, insurance will cover everything 100%. So let's say you have a max out-of-pocket of $8,000. Well, we're going to start with your deductible, which is $4,000. That was level 1. And then we're going to add all your co-payments or co-insurances from level 2. And the total of that has to be $8,000. And like I said, after that, insurance pays for everything. Now you might be thinking, well, what's the point of having insurance if I end up paying $8,000 a year? And that's not counting your premium monthly payments. Well, here's the thing. If your child has frequent doctor visits, therapy sessions, surgeries, it adds up really fast. In fact, some of the families that I work with end up reaching their max out of pocket within the first 3 months of the year. Parents, by the way, check out the new sensory quiz I created. It's completely free. I will review your answers and give you a personalized sensory summary so you can learn about your child's strengths and how to use those strengths to learn new things. Now, let me show you how much each therapy costs because you might reach that max out of pocket sooner rather than later. Okay, so I have different contracts with different insurance companies, so they don't allow me to give you an exact number of how much they pay me. But I can give you an average based on public data information. That way you can get a real estimate of how much each therapy costs. Also, keep in mind that the cost of therapy changes depending on the state that you live. I'm in Texas. Also, I'm assuming that you're going to try to find an in-network provider. This will be the cheapest option. Let's start with speech therapy. Their evaluation is going to cost around $140, and each session is going to cost $60. Now, their sessions are typically 30-minute sessions, and they're typically recommended between 1 visit to 2 visits per week. So that means the total cost per month for speech therapy could be anywhere between $240 to $480. Now, occupational and physical therapy are usually the same price, so you're just going to do them together. Now, the evaluation is going to be $150, and the treatment sessions are going to cost around $110. Now, we don't do 30-minute sessions. We typically do an hour long, depending on the patient, of course. And our frequency, we typically recommend between 1 or 2 visits per week. So the total cost per month can range between $440 to $880. Now, for ABA therapy, their evaluation costs $600. And each therapy session, which are 1 hour long, costs $50. The therapy sessions can be done by the assistant or by the BCBA, or the behavioral therapist. So regardless of who's doing the therapy sessions, it still costs $50. And a typical plan of ABA can range between 20 hours to 40 hours, meaning the total cost per month for ABA can range between $4,000 to $8,000. So let's review 3 different real life scenarios of what families end up paying with, even with insurance. That way you can plan ahead and know how to budget for it. This family has $4,000 in their deductible limit, a 20% coinsurance, and a max out-of-pocket limit of $8,000. So scenario number 1, this family is only going to receive ABA therapy for 20 hours a week. This means that the cost for ABA therapy per month is going to be $4,000. This means that they will cover their deductible only on the first month of therapy. Now, after this month, we're going to start adding their coinsurance payments, which are around $800. So that means in total, they will keep paying their coinsurance payments for 5 more months. So total, 6 more months just paying between coinsurance and deductible until they reach their max out-of-pocket limit of $8,000. Now they have the rest of the year getting ABA services for free, but not really, but you don't have to pay more. Scenario number 2, this family is just going to do occupational therapy and speech therapy services. So the total cost of receiving occupational therapy and speech therapy services once a week is going to be $680 a month. So in this scenario, the family will take 6 months to meet their deductible. And because they have a 20% coinsurance, they will not meet their max out of pocket at the end of the year, unless of course they have surgeries or more frequent doctor's appointments. Now, scenario number 3, this family is going to pay for all the therapy services, PT, OT, speech, and ABA. So the total cost of all the therapy services is going to be around $5,000 a month. So that means like within the first 3 weeks of the year, you're going to meet that deductible. And with a 20% coinsurance, that means it will take them 4 more months to reach their max out-of-pocket limit. Now, after reaching that limit, insurance will cover the services for the rest of the year. So let's just be mindful about what your child needs and budget. And if you have any questions, please just shoot me an email. I would love to help.